So we got Chloe in the house. How you doing, Chloe?
Beautiful. How are you?
Good, good. I'm glad I'm out of the house because you live in Long Beach. I don't know if you heard all
My
the
dog's
fighter
freaking
jets.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, so I was sick, and I've been working from home, and I guess they're like training, and it's like super loud.
Yeah.
You know,
Yesterday was terrible, and then
Yeah.
today I guess there's a show. So
the air show, right here in
Yeah.
Huntington Beach.
yeah. So
My
my dog was hiding behind the toilet.
Yeah, it's so loud.
It's
Like,
really loud.
even closing the windows, it didn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm glad I'm not there right now because every 5 minutes, like literally for hours,
Yeah.
just fighter jets
Sounds like
just
the world's
going at it.
ending. Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, are we practicing for war? I'm like, what are we doing with so many fighter jets out there? Turned out it was just
The
air show. Yeah.
But
But yeah, we've met like a while back, like I think during COVID times, right?
Mhm.
When we were doing the whole Women in STEM Wednesdays. I
Yeah.
think that was one of the reasons.
Definitely.
And yeah, now I'm doing more like content in person, just get to know you guys a little more, and then actually come, show you guys what I'm doing as well. But yeah, for people who don't know you, like, do you mind introducing yourself and what do you do right now as a professional?
Sure. So my name is Chloe Osorio, and I am a civil engineer, and I work in the power industry and power generation and distribution. And then I'm also a content creator at Chloe the Engineer.
Where'd you go to school?
I went to Cal State Fullerton and then USC.
Cal State Fullerton, USC, and did you get your bachelor's?
Bachelor's from Cal State Fullerton in civil engineering, and then master's in engineering management at USC.
Did you pass the EIT? Or have you taken it?
Yeah. I have my PE,
Oh,
actually.
you do have your PE? Okay, nice. Yeah,
I'm done.
that's
Done.
Yeah, yeah. With the stuff I do, I don't really need my EIT. Apparently,
That's all.
great. I don't have to take that test.
Beautiful. The less, the better.
Yeah. I don't know why. I think mechanicals can, but because I ended in this industry, I don't know, like control systems. I don't know why we don't have to take an EIT or like some kind of certification. I wonder why.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I know civil engineering, I think, is the one that pushes it the most, just because we're working on like public infrastructure, so we have to stamp everything. So a PE is really important in civil. But
So what do you do like daily at work?
it depends. So I work, like I said, in power generation. So basically anything in a power system that a civil would do. So a lot of like land development, a lot of roads, oil containments, because like if equipment blows up and we don't want oil getting into like the ocean, you know. So a lot of that, and then I also design like conduit for distribution cable and stuff like that.
So it's more like on the electrical.
Yeah.
Electrical.
Yeah, I basically support electrical engineers in a way.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very. Yeah, you guys are doing like huge things. Like I'm doing like little electrical boxes, little control systems. But it's cool. Like I started liking electrical more now. Now that I'm dealing with them more.
The funny thing is, when I was in college, I only took a physics class that did like circuits, and I hated it.
Yeah, same.
Hated it, and then I ended up in freaking power. It doesn't make any sense, and now I have to understand like actual electrical engineering principles to be able to do my work. And
Exactly.
who would have known I ended up here?
So you said you came back from coaching, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been playing soccer like most of your life, or?
Yeah,
when?
so I've been playing soccer since I was 4, and then I went to Cal State Fullerton on a D1 scholarship
Oh wow.
to play. So I played for Fullerton for 2 years, and then I unfortunately medically career ended. But yeah, it's been a few years, and then my dad wanted to get into coaching, and he asked me to get into it with him. So now I'm a club soccer coach.
Yeah. What are some of those memories you have from playing? Like, I mean, D1. I mean, that's. Yeah, you're good.
I loved
you know?
soccer. For my whole life, I played insane amounts of soccer, especially like from like 14, 15 on. I was like in another state every other week to play. But playing in college was really cool. It was interesting being an engineering major and playing a D1 sport because I guess at Cal State Fullerton, the engineering professors didn't really understand it. So when I was
Right.
coming to them like, oh, I'm going to be gone for a week in, whatever state to play, they were like, they didn't like it.
Yeah, that didn't make sense, right?
It was tough, but it was fun. It was a
Yeah.
really fun way to get involved in your
Any
university.
championships that stand out?
So Big West champions, and I went to the NCAA tournament both years, but we didn't go very far. But we were Big West conference champs one year, and then Big West tournament champs the next year. So yeah, it was pretty good time.
That was in college?
Yeah, in
Or
college.
What
Yeah.
about like high school?
In high school, I did get a CIF ring
Me too.
1 year. Yeah. We were in the in the
Dang.
final 1 year, the semifinal the other year. We got pretty far every year, but we only won one ring my
Yeah.
4 years.
Yeah.
But
That's
it was
cool.
a good time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah, we won CIF as well. My brother won 2 rings. He was like a sophomore, and then when he was a senior, I was a sophomore, and I won in my sophomore year. And I actually played too. I
Awesome.
was playing.
Nice.
Yeah, because some people were getting injured, and I had the chance to actually get in the field, play the finals, like the playoffs. It was
Nice.
amazing.
That's
it was amazing.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are great memories.
It's great memories. Honestly, even playing college and playing in like the Big West tournament and like big, huge, like, hundreds and hundreds of people watching you, I still think like CIF and like high school days are even more memorable just because like that camaraderie with your team. I mean, college, obviously I was very close to the girls too, but like that team is a made team, it's a recruited team. High school,
I see
like
what you
you're
mean.
just thrown together because you all go to the same school
Exactly.
and you have to figure it out.
The
And
chances of
there's just something beautiful about that.
exactly. Yeah, no, our school had really good teams. Pretty much. For what I remember, it was from my older brother's generation, all the way to even my youngest. We all went to the same high school.
That's awesome.
It was similar situation. When I was a senior, then my third brother Joel was a freshman actually.
Okay.
So and then he went up to varsity freshman year too.
Nice.
He was a beast. And then also my little brother, he actually got recruited by Atlas.
Okay.
So he was playing in Mexico,
Awesome.
like semi-pro, and so they both went to the final. Similar situation, right? And then but they lost. There was like the Orange County Register saying that if they would have won, like they would have interviewed us because it's like 4 brothers, different years, they all
winning.
won. Yeah, that would have been cool, but it didn't
cool.
happen. It didn't happen. No, I think soccer has definitely brought some of the best memories. It made me a little bit, like my personality, like where I learned commitment and
Oh yeah, definitely.
teamwork.
How to work in a team, all those things.
Yeah. I mean, which I still use today, with everybody I work with. Another crazy story with soccer, I guess one memory is I went to the World Cup in Russia.
Okay.
In Russia
Very
too.
cool.
Out of all places too, Russia. I think it was just perfect timing. Not so much for work, because work didn't give me the vacation. I was there for 12 days.
Okay.
Well, the whole trip was 12 days, but in Russia, I was there for 10 days.
Okay.
I saw Mexico when they beat Germany 1-0.
Very nice.
And then I saw Portugal play against Morocco. So Cristiano was playing as well.
Ooh.
He scored. Yeah.
I'm not a
I was in,
Cristiano fan.
Uh,
I'm a Messi fan.
yeah, same. And it was in Moscow. I was there for 10 days. It was such an
That's
amazing
sick.
experience. Soccer is
That's cool. I've been
It's
to the
beautiful.
Women's World Cup, the
Oh, you
France
have?
one in 2019.
oh wow.
That was fun.
Dang,
And
that's cool.
then I've been to Copa America when it was in the U.S. and we traveled around a little bit, went to Seattle and saw a bunch of games. That's the first
awesome.
time I saw Messi in person, and I cried a little bit, to be honest.
Yeah, I think. See, that's one thing I do when I travel. Typically, is to either go watch a game, like a music festival if it's happening, you know, and then just sort of be around this, you know,
Yeah,
big
travel
cities.
around
Yeah,
it.
so
Yeah.
definitely soccer is one of those things I do. Any future plans to?
Definitely. I mean, we'll definitely go again for sure. I really wanted to go to Australia for the Women's World Cup this year, but we're building our house, so it was like we couldn't leave. But yeah, definitely again.
My knees hurt from playing so much. Like right now I have a little pain, you know, it's like it's always there.
Yep.
So why'd you stop playing?
I ended up we basically found a heart issue that I most likely was born with, but it never came about until when I was 20 years old. So during spring season, when you know you do a lot of running and it's just getting ready for fall, I just I don't know what happened. I was running and then I started getting chest pains and I grabbed my chest. That's the last thing I remember.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I ended up having to have heart surgery.
Oh wow.
And that was kind of the end.
Oh wow.
So that ended my career. I had a couple knee injuries before that, so it was just my body was just done. I think. Yeah.
No, that's too bad. Yeah, I had a muscle spasm playing indoor soccer in college, and yeah, I couldn't walk for a week. It was so bad. Like I had to crawl my way to the restroom.
Oh man.
It was bad, like a spasm.
Yeah.
I was like stuck, you know.
Just locked up.
Yeah, and then second situation, I was, you know, years later, I'm still playing, you know, my back kind of gives off here and there, but then I hyperextended one of my knees.
Yeah.
And after that, I'm like, no,
I'm
I
done.
can't, I can't give. Yeah, you know.
It's rough. We're getting old.
Yeah, it's sad, you know. It's sad because I would love to continue playing. That's like my passion, without a doubt. But yeah. So why don't we get into a little bit of your content now?
Okay.
Like just because I remember, I think you had like a viral video, right? That's how you started getting into.
So I started getting into it kind of a little bit in college, but it wasn't really engineering related. It was just messing around with content creation. And I really, being a millennial and growing up in the MySpace days, and then, you know, I really enjoyed social media, and I followed like a lot of content creators and bloggers and stuff, but it was all like women, like fashion bloggers and people who did it full time. Yeah, I didn't see a lot of women that were like working 9-to-5 jobs and then also doing content creation. It was a lot of like full-time content creators, which is great, but so then I just started wanting to get into it. But when I first started, I kind of was being like everyone else. Like I was just doing what I thought would make me go viral or make me get followers.
Yeah.
And it was a friend of mine who actually, she is a fashion blogger, and she kind of told me like, you look like everyone else and you keep saying that you want to bring like STEM and women with 9-to-5s and all that into your content, but I'm not seeing it. So back then my handle was something ridiculous. I don't remember what it was. Miss Chloe something like that. So that's when I changed it to Chloe the Engineer and started leaning into like talking about my job and what it took to become an engineer and all those things. So that's how I started. And then Stomping Out Stereotypes was a photo I posted. That's kind of when like things took off, which was a picture of me. It was just a picture of my feet. No free toes, but a picture of my feet, one in a heel and one in like a steel toe boot. And it was kind of just an idea I had to show like both worlds, like being both. And it went viral. And then people were commenting, coming up with different hashtags, and someone came up with Stomping Out Stereotypes. So we went with it, and then now there's thousands of posts in that hashtag of people posting like their own feet and random things. Like there's been ballet slippers and steel toes. There's been like pole dancing shoes, like the super high heels and steel toes, like all kinds of things. So that took off, and
you went from there.
We went from there. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for me, like even it's the whole viral thing, you know, you're always trying to look for something to go viral or whatever while you're creating content. But it's tough, you know.
It's
Sometimes
tough.
you never know. Like
You-
it's the most random thing sometimes. It's like what, like how did this post get the most out of, you know?
1,000%.
And it's always like sometimes they're not the greatest, you know.
It's hilarious because every time people ask me about it, they're like, "How did you come up with that? Did you
Mhm.
know it was gonna go crazy?" And I was like,
Mhm.
"No, I just thought it was like funny, like
Mhm.
cute, like oh, like I love heels, and then I love being in the dirt on my job, right? So I'm gonna show both."
Any negative thoughts? I mean, any comments?
Negative comments?
Yeah, were you getting negative comments like from guys or like any of that?
Not specifically on that, I don't think. I mean, obviously, there's negative comments on all kinds of videos and stuff, but I don't think actually stomping out stereotypes specifically has come with much negative around it, which actually I've never thought about that, but that's really cool.
Yeah, no, that's good. Actually, it's probably something that doesn't guys don't feel too
They're over it.
attacked or something. No, that's good. How's content evolved for you since, you know, when you started? How long ago was that, and you know, like, has it changed like from the beginning?
Yeah, I've probably I've started probably 6 years ago, I would say. Taking it seriously, I would say. It's definitely changed and iterated just because obviously I'm in different points of my life too. So as I change and grow and reach different stages, then obviously my content is going to change and go along with those stages.
Mm-hmm.
But now I feel like when I first started doing engineering content, I kind of focused solely on engineering. But I feel like now I kind of just share everything because one of the biggest things I like to show, especially with young women and men in college and stuff wanting to go into engineering, I feel like a lot of the next generation feels like if you go into a career like this, it has to be your whole life. Like that's all. So it's like we're talking about soccer and everything. Like I love showing all of that because I feel like it's an important message that it doesn't have to be your whole life. You don't have to be like obsessed with being an engineer.
Right.
And you're at the office all day, every day, and that's all you do. So I like showing like that I coach and that my husband and I like to travel and that, you know, we do all these other things. We're building a house. Like all these things that I like to show on my page now. So it's not purely that I'm an engineer. Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me it's also evolved for sure. I mean, I show my face. I do interviews now.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, because you evolve and you're like, I should change it up a little. You know,
bit, yeah.
everybody, come on.
You
Like,
get bored of the same old thing.
yeah, I mean, memes never get old.
Never.
But even memes have evolved. They went from like having like the characters, you know, like
yeah.
you know, one single line, like
Yeah,
drawn,
stick figure
stick
kinda
figure.
guys,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was like it started from that.
Which are still hilarious, by the way.
You know, and then just capturing moments of people and pictures, and then now there's you know, there's an app called CapCut.
CapCuts, yeah.
So it's like
now it's like
like
video.
a video
and-
meme,
yeah,
you know?
video
So-
memes. I know.
so
You always got to be on your
adapting
toes.
adapting to that, and you know, figuring it out, and also coming up with your own content, because I'm getting more picky about it. I don't want to just take
Post to post.
to post, like and it also has to be like mine, you know. I feel like it needs to be more original content, not just taking it from someone and reposting, because there's
Reposting.
so many pages out there that are just reposting the same thing, and I'm like,
And they don't even
It's like-
ask either.
yeah, it's
That's
like,
the
come on.
biggest thing.
yeah, I mean, they might be going viral and getting like, you know, growing their following, but it's still, to me, it's just another page.
Yeah.
You know,
It doesn't take much from you. I mean, you're just taking other people's content.
reposting it.
Yeah.
And, but I mean, what would be next in the meme culture? Videos, not videos anymore.
I'm sure we're going to do AI memes soon.
Actually, I started using AI to create like a template, like a background template of let's say, I use Discord, and my prompt I put you know, make a, you know, inside a room, an electrical room, you know, with messy, that looks messy, and then I add like the CapCut video on top of it. So
Sick.
I'm not taking any picture
From the internet.
from the internet. I'm actually like
Making it.
making it. And then I started using Photoshop too, the generative.
Mm-hmm.
I still haven't like played enough with it, but it does some pretty cool stuff. So I'm like, man, now it really
Here we
is. Actually, it is AI.
There
It
you
is
go.
gonna be the next one for
Yep.
sure. It's like, how do you use AI to create that?
Fully
Yeah, like
your own.
yeah, and then there was one where I wanted a kind of like a construction manager, on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
So I told Discord, can you create engineering manager on the phone? Like,
Okay.
because one of the CapCuts had like the audio was saying like he was talking to somebody on the phone. So yeah, Discord gave me like that image of engineer looking guy with a construction hat, and
That's
everything. And then yeah,
sick.
it did. I was like, wow, it really is helping me a lot. Yeah,
So
so
there you go.
yeah.
There's the next thing.
I should document how I
How you doing?
create memes.
Yeah.
Maybe that should be part of the content that I do, like just making them.
I think that'd be cool. Yeah.
That would be, huh?
Yeah.
Let's do
We're
that.
thinking. We're thinking.
I did want to do a meme review.
Okay.
This would be like a very first
time
doing
Let's
this.
do it.
I'm just gonna pull up the Instagram,
Okay.
and then you just pick one and see if you can describe it to people. All right, Chloe. I don't know if you recognize any of them. I don't know if you want to pick one of them. Yeah, so we're looking at this lady dancing because her program is working. So
Long story short.
yeah, long story short, like engineers get really happy when the light turns on.
Oh heck yeah! Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't do that, but like if my program works on my design software and it's been a while, oh my goodness, I get so excited.
Actually, this is one of the ones I actually created using AI.
Oh my gosh.
So this is my boss explaining my new responsibilities after my coworker quit. Me waiting for him to stop explaining to tell him I also quit. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I love that cat.
Yeah, that cat has been viral. Like I see it everywhere. It's so funny too. It's like a perfect moment.
The face is fantastic.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure a lot of people recognize that one. But yeah, this is an example of when I use AI. Like I said, office space,
That's awesome.
cubicle and stuff, and
That's
so
really cool.
I'm doing more of that.
Yeah, that's really cool because it's super original. Yeah, because
Yeah.
when I do like reels or anything and I do green screen or anything, like I'm just pulling it off the internet because
No, yeah, I this one's another one too. Engineers flexing their superiority complex. That was hilarious because I was laughing by myself with this one.
the second guy's the funniest
Yeah,
part.
he's so funny. Yeah, he is. I guess there's some truth to that, guys, engineers.
Oh, 1,000%.
I'm not disagreeing on that.
Definitely.
But yeah, that's another one, like example of like using Discord. I should show you too. Some of the pictures that I've come up with. But yeah, are you familiar with Discord Midjourney?
I mean, I only use it for like groups and stuff.
Yeah, I use it for like this one. I'm thinking of coming up with.
Wow.
Trying to.
Terrifying.
I'm trying to. So this is a meme idea.
Okay.
So I'm trying to find like give a like a point of view, right, of somebody that's looking to fix something, but they're inside this room, it's
That
like
terrifying
it's like an IT room with a bunch of servers. So I'm gonna probably come up with something soon.
All right.
This is
You
coming.
gotta
soon.
post it before you post this
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that would be good. I haven't posted in a while. That's what I noticed.
SpongeBob.
Yeah. Actually, this one I found this in statistic. 40% of freshmen when they face the slightest bit of adversity in engineering is like when they change major. So yeah, it's an interesting fact that I guess 40% of people that get into engineering 40% drop
Yeah, before they graduate.
before they graduate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's why classes
Crazy.
get so small.
Yeah.
When you first start, your classes are big. I remember starting college and there was a lot of women at first. And classes were huge. And I was like, I thought this isn't what I heard.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the time you hit like third year, then it's like, okay.
Yeah, like
this
the
is
hundreds.
what I have heard.
Hundreds
Everyone's
of people.
dropped out. Yeah.
Yeah. Those rooms were stuffy. It was just like hot, and I feel like I can smell sweat. Those huge classrooms, you know?
I know it's a stereotype, but I mean, it is true. Like, a lot of people drop and go to business. That's just
Yeah.
the way it is.
Oh, so I found the one that I created. Look, this is the one with entry-level engineers after 1 month of experience. So you can hear.
It was my understanding.
So
Oh,
he's
I
on the
love
phone.
that
It
one.
was my understanding that I was not going to be managed.
What gave you that idea?
That's my
It was my
understanding.
understanding.
But yeah,
Yep.
that's I told AI to
That
create
is
this
a
picture.
very true one, too.
Yeah.
That's a very true one. I deal with some of those.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the first meme review. I don't know if you want to pick another one.
Whichever. Oh, Patrick. Yeah, absolutely. When the professor whips out the differential equations, Mom, come pick me up. I'm scared. I was just telling like a student engineer at our company about this because she's like struggling in calculus. If you put a calculus problem in front of me, I mean, I don't know, your board looks a little scary to me, but I would not be able to do a calculus problem
Yeah.
for the life of me. I can do some angles.
Derivatives could be a little easy as long as you don't start putting any of that trig functions in there, any of the sines, cosines, and all that.
Any fake numbers, not for me.
Yeah.
Don't put an I in there.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Chloe, we can get into how we
It's actually a
Food
cute
engineer.
cake.
Yeah, it's pretty hilarious. This is a funny one. I asked my friend what he was studying. He told me food engineering. I picture something like this.
Construction
It's pretty
cake.
funny. It's a funny one. But yeah, Chloe. So why don't we get into like how we met? You
Okay.
know, we met in who was your Jay, right? Jay invited us to
Mm-hmm. In person for the first time.
In person
yeah,
for
yeah,
the first time, right? Like
yeah.
last time we met, this is how we came with the idea of doing an episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, we have an interesting group, right, of friends, online
Yeah.
friends, because I think that would have been like the first time I met like the majority of people.
Yeah.
And it's been, probably like 3 years, and we finally made it happen.
And I don't even half the time I don't even know who I've met in person and who I haven't,
Yeah,
just
right?
because you don't realize
Yeah.
so many people I know so well.
Yeah.
Like just from being online friends. It's really like my husband will literally say like, now have you met this person in person or is this just an online friend? I'd be like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah. No, it feels like you've known each other for a while.
For a long time.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I see you every day almost.
Exactly. And we talk all the time. Like when we
Yeah.
all got together that weekend, I think the only person I had met multiple times in person that was there was Katya. Everyone else, I don't think I had ever met in person, but we all talked like we weren't meeting
We were
for the
having
first time.
it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I think the next time we're meeting, at least as a group, I think they're coming for Society of Women Engineers.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I'll be there too.
Oh, you're gonna be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why don't you talk about that a little bit?
So yeah, I mean the conference is, I always forget what date it is because I'm going to the American Society of Civil Engineers conference in Chicago the week before. So I think that's the 21st through something. And then, or no, that's the 18th through the 21st. And then Society of Women Engineers is like 28, 29. I don't know. But it's at the end of October. It's going to be in LA this year. And I work in LA. And then my company also has an internal Society of Women Engineers organization. So we're actually going to be there. We have like a hospitality suite and stuff like that. So
Oh wow.
I'll be there.
I'm supposed to be there
doing
too.
the thing.
Jay invited a few of us. It looks like it's a few of us.
Okay, cool.
Going. I'm not too sure exactly like how involved we're gonna be, but I think we're just gonna be there for like documenting
Perfect.
the events. So
cool. Yeah, because he's doing like a K through 12 event type thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's cool that they get active like that. Yeah, they invite us to things like that. You know, Jay actually invited me to. Recently, he came here for Cheetos, and I couldn't make it.
That was so cool.
Yeah,
when
like
he did
Becky
that.
G was there or something. It's like, man. Yeah, and then I look at everybody, and everybody has like their network, and they're from like all over the place, all over the U.S.
Yeah, it's so fun.
It's awesome. No, SHIP is cool because I did get to meet some of the people that follow me. That actually came up to me and like, "Well, I've been following you for years." I'm like, that was actually the very first like invitation that I got
Okay.
from, to go with the group of like content creators.
Uh-huh.
And the first one was in North Carolina, and it was a blast, like meeting people. And but this time I feel like I wanna be more involved with students. Ask them questions, like
that's
see where they
awesome.
come from, like actually create content while I'm there. Maybe ask stories. I'll probably take my podcast.
Honestly, SHIP, I'm like so impressed with how they've rolled with the times. Like I feel like so many professional organizations don't lean into the social media and having influencers and all that.
No,
it's like I know the ones I'm part of, like they have social media and they'll ask us to do like takeovers and stuff, but they don't do the same like marketing beforehand and stuff that SHIP always does. And I think that's last year was like the first year I feel like I saw them really push it and like have a bunch of influencers giving tickets and things like that.
No, it grew. If
any society level people are listening, you need to get on board.
Yeah, no, for sure. Because I saw their numbers like
skyrocket.
grow, from I think they had like 5,000 followers or something, and now they have like 12. I don't even know right now. But it was just from like just marketing that year with us.
And it's across the board. Every professional organization I've ever been involved in, society level, like national level, they're always asking the same questions. Like, how do we get students involved? How do we get students to stay after they graduate? This is how.
Social media.
Figure it out.
Get them involved.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw like all the companies that support it. There's. Because there's an expo, right? There's an expo, and then there's like sessions, and I was impressed by how many companies were there, looking for talent. But yeah, I think them doing that show support to content creators, because there isn't like you say, like there isn't companies that are doing it like they're doing it, and actually flying us out there. And it usually takes time, it takes a long time for a company to approve any of this. Like, have you tried like doing things like that, or
to approve like going to conferences
or like or support, right? Like your company saying, okay, or we're gonna bring in some content creators.
Oh yeah, mine doesn't. No.
Yeah, like
no,
nobody really tries to work with content creators, at least not in the engineering. Like I haven't seen like Tesla super against it, Space is super against it.
I feel like some of the private companies in aerospace are starting to get on board, because like Galactic Gal, I know she works with a couple companies and stuff, and she creates content for like some of the launches and stuff. So if they seem to be like NASA and stuff seems to be like starting to dip their toes in it. But I know in like my industries, it's not a thing.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
Construction's maybe starting to, like I have so many construction firms following me, but I don't see them ever doing much on their end. But
right.
We'll see.
Yeah, maybe because whoever's managing, they're not up to the times. They gotta make changes.
Yeah.
Keep it interesting, because Actually, one page that I think it's pretty funny is the TSA. TSA. I don't know if you guys follow TSA, but it's hilarious.
I don't follow, but I see them in my For You all the time.
Yeah, like they post some, I mean, it's like we're talking about like security,
Yeah.
right? But
It's like a serious thing.
yeah, and it's a very serious thing,
Yeah.
and they show like
Funny
the way they do it, like
moments.
funny moments and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And I'm like, even in the comments, they're like, man, whoever's doing this content, keep it up.
So good, yeah.
This is how it should be. It's just a different way of marketing, right? Right. Either you can
Definitely.
keep it so plain and so boring, or you can make it actually like
Fun. Yeah.
Right. So I mean, now I have a company, and kind of sucks not being able to post some things, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, it's tough.
So engineering is weird, some people they take it very I mean, it is a very serious thing, but if I'm gonna show a motor, it's just a motor. Like, you can buy this. Anyone can buy a motor.
Yeah.
But some people are like super secretive about everything. And I'm like, but that's just me.
Yeah.
I do want to see how I can be working with more content creators. I think because I'm thinking ahead of my, with the company, if this keeps going the way it's going and everything goes well, there has to be like a marketing budget. So being able to, maybe support some influencers to throw our company out there.
Yeah.
I think that would be.
I mean,
something I
marketing
wanna
is
do.
so important. I think engineering companies don't necessarily recognize that all the time. I think that we're starting to.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, one of my friends on Instagram, I think her name's Callie, but Callie the contractor, I believe is her at. She was just talking about this. She was saying like, what's the fine line between being like the best in your industry and then having good marketing? And people were commenting, and I mean, there is that line because you can be the best number one whatever you are, but if you're not marketing yourself, no one's gonna know about you,
Right.
and it's not gonna help you. On the other flip side, you don't want to be like an awesome marketer and not know what you're doing.
Right.
So there is that
Right.
line that you gotta walk. So
Yeah,
I think as we keep going, it's
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta market what you say you do, right? You can't. And another thing too, some of the companies, because I do pay attention to like what they post online, right? If I research a company, well, let me see your content. Like, what are the recent projects you've done? Because if not, like, I don't really
want to.
like, I don't trust you.
Yeah,
Like, how do I
exactly.
know you are what you say you are?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why like we literally have a video showing like a bunch of projects for the company, just so. I mean, it speaks for itself.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not, we're not like lying about it.
Mm-hmm. And 1,000%. I mean, our generation and lower, the Gen Zs, and then I don't know. Is there another generation already? I don't know.
I think there's gonna be alpha.
Okay, so everyone
Yeah.
coming up, we trust social media. That's just the way it is. Like when my husband and I started our remodel, I looked through Instagram, and like that's how we found our contractor. Like
what?
it's not like
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
cool.
use website. Like I obviously go and check their website and reviews and all that. But at the end of the day, like when I see photos on Instagram that I'm like, oh, this is the style I like. This person
You get
looks like they
ideas.
know what they're doing. Yeah. So we gotta stay with the times.
I did that recently too. For I was looking for machine shops that can add threads to like a large cylinder, like on the ends. And I was like looking through their machines. I'm like, oh, this one looks like they have the right lathe,
to do it
So I was contacting them, So yeah, like showing pictures.
helps. For
Yeah,
sure.
like,
Yeah.
it literally made me contact them. It generated a lead for them. Yeah, I mean the internet it makes money. You just have to like
Know how to use it.
market it, know how to use it for sure. I mean, I literally depend on marketing to be able to bring in projects, like even talking about it in here in podcasts or whenever I get a chance.
Yeah.
It's good material. So what's next, Chloe?
In life or what? It's like a deep question.
I know there's a lot to that. No, for just, I guess your next goals with your content, and like, what are you gonna be doing in the next changes? I don't know if you're gonna have any in the next 5 years. Are you gonna retire from that? Sometimes I think about it. I'm like, man, I haven't posted. Like, I just, it makes some money, but it's not like, whoa, you know. Like,
1,000%. It's
I'm
not
like,
the effort that goes into it. I mean, I think people don't realize one thing I notice as a content creator too, especially when you do make money off of it and you start posting like sponsored posts and stuff. It's obvious people hate the sponsored posts. And it's like the second you put that sponsored little paid partnership tag on it, it's like everyone's just like, nope, not helping you. Like but it's like 99% of our content is just free, not making any money,
right?
Just trying to help or whatever your mission is on social media. But for the most part, like STEM influencers, people in this field, I feel like most of us are on it to like inspire the next generation and you know, teach about how to be in whatever industry we're in. So it's kind of tough sometimes when it's like, can't you appreciate what we're doing the 99% of the time, and then, you know, throw us a bone. Like, all this equipment is not cheap.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's tough, but I love social media, so it is kind of a creative outlet, even though my job is creative in a different way. It's not the same. So I like having the creative outlet. I'm trying to get better at TikTok, but it's like not really my thing.
Yeah. I tried
That's
to.
kind of my next goal, is to like try to be consistent and do what the TikTokers do. I'm trying really hard, but all my videos flop. Like videos that do well on Instagram, and then I'll try like do something similar on TikTok, and nothing. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't figured it out, but I guess I just have to like
one day
post. Yeah.
Lots of CapCut.
Yeah, exactly. Like those seem to be doing okay, but yeah, I think I should document more of how I do it. You know, maybe I should try
Definitely.
that. So,
yeah.
Oh yeah, like check out how I did this meme.
That'd be cool.
Meme engineer. Meme
engineer. There
I'm
you
a meme
go.
engineer.
The meme engineer.
No, but seriously, I do sometimes. You know, because I mean, even Instagram, not just like the ads that pay, but Instagram pays you through like views or like now they post like they put ads on your post like in the bottom or something. It really isn't like that much. No. You know, it's like even if it goes viral, like
nothing. Yeah.
No, it's just, you know. But I have been focusing more on like the business, because that's where the real money is. Like I've been seeing way more money like there than creating content. So that's why I've been kind of like, you know, focusing on other stuff than creating content. But I do like the podcast. I like doing that. You know, meeting people and talking about their experiences.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, is there anything you want to add? It would be interesting to bring up the whole like back in 2020 with the whole Me Too movement, when there were like conversations happening of like the whole mansplaining, you know, like things like that, because it seemed like things like shifted a lot like during that time. Like it used to be, I feel like it used to be more like that. I don't know how it is for you or in your industry, but it felt like it was being at that moment very women were like speaking about it a lot, you know, at that time. Does that still like happen, or like have you seen any like shift in?
I mean, it definitely happens. Like, I don't think it's gone away completely, but I always tell people, even though like in my content too, you'll find me making fun of, like I did a video if women acted like men in engineering, and like I'll play with it, and that's what gets men angry in the comments, but it's not fully 100% serious all the time. for the most part, at least in my experience, all the men I work with are amazing. There's just like the few, you know? And it sucks to deal with, but sometimes I like to reel it back and kind of explain, which sometimes can get the girls upset in the comments. But I don't want women, especially like young girls in high school and college, wanting to go into the industry thinking they're just going to enter this like wild, wild west of misogyny. You know, that's not what it is. At least not in California, for sure. I don't know. There might be parts of the country that are a little worse. But yeah, most of the men I work with are super supportive. They don't, you know, treat me like I'm different than them. It's just the couple, especially working in construction. I feel like
that's why I would think
in the field sometimes you get a couple. But I stand like firm. I really try to earn their respect, as much as some people will say, well, you shouldn't have to earn their respect. But I feel like we all have a little respect to earn from people, especially when whether it's men or women. I don't care the gender. If they've been in the industry for 40 years, even if they have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, you know, they do have more experience than us, and maybe they go about it the wrong way. But if you stick with them and like learn from them and show that you respect them for their knowledge, 9 times out of 10 they're going to turn around eventually and realize and respect you back. So that's what I always try to do. I actually did a video recently joking like, when the most sexist foreman only wants to work with you now. And there's truth to that. I've like turned some of the crabsters, you know, the crabby guys, I've turned them into my fans. So
no, yeah, I think there is I agree with you that you have to get them to respect you for you, right? Like, it's not really about sex or any of that. Like, your knowledge is valuable, how you get along with them, you know. I think that's probably one thing I would tell everyone out there is, especially if you're new, like, try to learn as much as you can, because
1,000%
become valuable and everybody will want to work with you, you know. You'll get a job anywhere as well, you know. So yeah, I hear people like struggle learning, you know, in their first job. Sometimes I don't know if they have support or everybody's too busy to show, you know. So yeah, because some people want to leave like the job, like maybe they're just doing one thing. Maybe engineering wasn't like how they expect it would be, and you end up doing like a bunch of like customer service, maybe, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important to find a workplace that's like willing to mentor and train and all that. But also, one of my biggest like pieces of advice when we get like student engineers, interns, that kind of thing, is just don't think you have to prove that you know things, because sometimes I'll get employees and students and stuff that like they're so gung-ho, and it's not a negative thing, they're trying to prove themselves, so they kind of like act like they know more than they do. And then us as older engineers, like, we kind of get over them and we don't want to help them because they're acting so know-it-all. So sometimes having a little bit of, yeah, I don't know this and I'd love to learn from you, is the way to go. So
yeah,
we don't expect students to know. I always tell, engineering school doesn't prepare you for shit. Like, you're just learning the basics and how to solve problems, how to think about problems. But I didn't learn any of the stuff I do on the day-to-day basis these days in school.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah, we actually had an experience of someone who, like a student who wants to like charge us a rate, you know, like this is his hourly rate, because he's like a contractor, and but he doesn't know much, you know.
Okay.
So I'm just like kind of letting him like tell me like, okay, you want to be like a contractor, you don't want to work hourly, or like you want to give me like prices. So I'm like, okay, well, let me see your prices. I'm like, dude, you're charging me
what a professional
as if you're the one doing the whole project, you know?
Yeah.
So there's people that come off like that, where it's like, dude, you don't know shit. Like, just
Have a little humility at
yeah, like
first.
appreciate that you're learning, you know. But yeah, I mean, what do you call that? Those kids that think they deserve everything.
The trophy kids or
No,
whatever.
like, what do you call them? I forgot the term. Wow.
I think it's rough because sometimes things that are a positive go a little too far. Right. So like I feel like in the last few years we've seen a push to make sure like interns are paid, like no free work and things like that, which I fully support. I don't think there should, especially in engineering, I don't think there should be interns that are doing it for free. But you also can't push it too far where you're like, I'm a second year engineering student and I deserve $40 an hour, you know? So there's a line that sometimes when we're pushing for good things, we maybe push it a little too far and try to take it to another planet.
How do you feel about, I mean, kind of going back to like paying or not, right? Yeah, I agree, like paid for sure. But how do you feel about filtering out, you know, those that actually want to work with you versus, you know, somebody that just wants to, like, you know, get paid.
Wants the money.
Right. Because there's people that, for example, here at the beginning, we started with no, you know, not paying at least for 3 months. Because, like, how do we know that you want to do this? You know, how do we know we're employing the right person? How do we, you know? So one thing that we were noticing were the ones that were sticking around, you know, now they're full-time, you know, so it helped, at least for me, in my perspective, is okay, you're trying, you actually want to work here, you're learning, because really they're here to learn, right? Look, this is an open space, come here, learn. That's your internship. Like, we have a bunch of hardware, you go play with it. But you also notice, like, some people not showing up, you know? So there's, like, it helps, you know, if show a company that you want to work with.
You want to work there.
If you just want to be there, like, I'll work for you for, like, a month, whatever.
The genuine interest and passion, to me, is way more important than technical expertise. So when I'm working with student engineers, especially, I've worked with quite a few over the years, and I can tell you exactly who, like, I've called out a couple, like, you're going to quit engineering. There's no way you enjoy this. like I had one student and I took her to this huge project, like brand new power station. Like, if you enjoy, I don't care what kind of engineer you are, electrical, mechanical, civil, whatever. I don't care what, if you like anything about engineering, you would have thought this was so cool. Like, driving up to this massive new, brand new power station being built. And she's like reading a book in the car and like not wanting to be there. And I'm like, do you like engineering? Are you enjoying what you're studying? Because there's no way. Like, I know I'm a nerd, but most of us are a little bit nerdy in some way, you know? And then there's others that maybe struggle a little bit on the concepts because they've never seen them, but you can tell they're just so excited to see projects and they're so excited to learn, always coming to me to be like, okay, I did this step. I'm a little lost, like, help, you know, not just sitting in their cubicle waiting, twiddling their thumbs.
Yeah.
Showing the initiative.
Exactly. Initiative is
I'd
huge.
have that 1,000 times over someone who's a genius and can crunch numbers.
Overthink a lot.
Yeah. 1,000%.
No, there's definitely the doers, right? You need those because if not, things are not gonna move. You know, I'm very action oriented. That's for sure. One thing I notice about me is action. You know, not just saying it.
That's the most important.
Yeah.
Not the book smarts necessarily.
Right.
Like, we're all smart if we got through engineering, for sure.
Right.
But it's like with the PE exam too, like as civils, I know I took so many times to pass it. So, and I always tell people, like, I know engineers who passed it the very first time and I would never want to work with them because they're terrible. And then I know people who still don't have it and they're the best engineer at our company, you know, like just being able to take a test and bubble some numbers to me is not showing of.
Yeah, there's actually one of the guys here. He's not an engineer. You know, he enjoys everything engineering though. You know, but he
Yeah.
doesn't like the school.
Yeah,
You know,
that's fine. Yeah.
And I mean, he's using SolidWorks and he's designing. You know,
Yeah.
he's like
1,000%.
Wow.
That piece of paper isn't the tell-all.
everything,
You know,
right?
I especially working in construction. You know, a lot of the guys that are laborers and are, you know, the guys actually building it, they know more than we do. They didn't go to college. They just figured it out by doing.
Right.
But that's why I always tell, especially civils who are working in more of a construction industry, or even if you're working in like a factory or something, anything like that, the people doing the work know more than you. Just like assume that every time.
Yeah,
So
it's
when
tough.
I'm stuck, I'm just like, how would you build it? Let's talk about this. I'm not. Some engineers have a chip on their shoulder. Like I tell you what to do, and they know more than you.
Yeah. Yeah, some projects, aspects of the projects where I just get impressed by what they're capable of, right? Like, you know, I'm doing like small parts, right? Small machines, not super like huge, massive lines of machines, but there was a project where there was like a massive structure carrying like big masses, and we were doing all the electrical and the software, right? And just looking at all the mechanical, it's like welded pieces, like cut and like motors attached and like driving mechanics and all that. Super heavy, you know, and it's like 25 feet up in the 25 to 30 feet up in, you know, up there you have to install things, you know.
Yeah.
Just how much energy it takes to build that massive structure out of metal, you know. I went to school for mechanical engineering, and just looking at that, I'm like, holy
What?
crap. Like, all the materials, like, to take on that project,
Little pieces,
to
everything.
take on the massive project is just insane, you know. But slowly I'm getting there, you know.
Yeah.
I was part of it, which was cool. But yeah, it's just amazing what people are capable of. Like, there was also, all we did was bring in like art hardware. They would install it because it was their structure, their, you know, all safety. They follow all that. And then there's like the cable management, because these things are moving,
Yeah.
right? These massive things moving. So they're powered, and the cable tracks. I'm like, how are you guys gonna
Make
this whole thing like it moves? Like, what about the cables? Yeah, they made like this cable track. Like typically, it lays like horizontally, but they had to like rotate it 90, so it was like on a track, and it had like some guides, and it was just insane. I was like, I definitely, I mean, I can help design and stuff, but like I don't have that experience, you know,
to know how it
to do all that.
comes together in real life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, it was just insane. I was impressed by everybody there. And they were probably impressed with our stuff. You know, they're like, "Oh, you're doing the software. You guys are geniuses.
Yeah.
You know, you're making the whole thing move."
Of
this and that." I'm like,
course. Everyone has their
Man,
thing
yeah.
that they bring to the table.
Everybody looks at each other like, "Oh,
I
that's
couldn't
pretty
do
cool.
that. You could do
That's
that,
cool.
yeah.
You could do that. You
Yeah.
know, but you can do that." And I'm like, dang. Yeah, that teamwork is make things go for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
But any questions for me, Chloe?
What's it like starting your own business in engineering?
I mean, it's the craziest and hardest thing I ever done in my life.
I bet.
The craziest, and not I mean, it was a crazy idea, right? It was, I had a meme page, right? So I like to describe it.
You worked in engineering, like for someone else
Yeah,
first,
for
though,
4
right?
years.
Okay.
Yeah, for 4 years. Yeah, I was thinking, can I use my network to create a tech company? Like, can I use this social media, the engineering meme page, to, you know, find people to help me.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a crazy idea. I'm like, can I make like memes to millions? Memes to millions. And now it happened, So I'm like, what a crazy idea.
Yep.
And I want to say like this year has been the best year so far. But man, I remember those nights and days and just worried that this could fail to, like everything, like
Yeah.
my finances, everything.
Everything.
But yeah, sometimes when you're at your lowest is when things happen. Like it's weird. The universe just sort of,
Yeah, you kind of built
here
something,
you
bro.
go. Like I'm like, holy crap! Like this just happened. And yeah, we had a facility that was like a third of this size,
Mm-hmm.
and then we just moved
To this.
to this. Yeah,
Which is massive, by the way, everyone.
yeah.
It's an operation.
It's like 5,500 square feet, and yeah, we have a few offices and a big warehouse. But yeah, I remember just the lonely days. Lonely.
See, this is what you need to be creating content on, though.
It's
This is what the people want to hear.
yeah, the lonely days. Like it's just thinking about how like what am I doing?
Is this even gonna work?
Is like the empty shop. I go in there and I just start almost like crying. I swear. I'm like, oh my God.
I can imagine.
And then I start thinking like, what am I trying to do? Like, I
What
want
is
to be
this
like
all
a company, maybe like a little similar to the one I worked, at least in size.
Mhm.
They were probably making like, I don't know. I think that branch was doing like 20 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
They were like a national company, but I'm like, man, if they're doing 20, I can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then so me and my partner Brett and also my partner Joe, we all used to work for that company,
Mhm.
and
You just all
I was
bounced.
I was the first one.
Okay.
I was the one with like, I believe that if we get a facility and we put ourselves on Google and do all the marketing that
We
we
can
need to
do
do,
it.
we can do this. Like people will contact us.
Hmm.
And yeah, like people were contacting us, some word of mouth, and yeah, I mean now we're quoting like big projects now. Yeah, the growth like from like just quoting and booking and everything, like it's just been
Mm-hmm.
going up. So all the numbers that we're seeing is so much different than the beginning now. Yeah, it was. Man,
That's awesome.
I remember too, like there was there's a company I'm working with, and they're international. They're actually from China, and it was such a low moment, like for me and my partner. We're like, I can't believe like this. If this doesn't happen, like we can be in a bad situation, And I swear, like getting deposits, getting paid, closing the contract, everything happens so quick too. It's so rare that something like that happens. Help the business like a ton. But it was literally probably hours before we were, we had to pay payroll, like all that,
Mm-hmm.
and just not being able to sleep well.
Yeah.
They're in China too, and so I'm like waking up in the middle of the night, like 3 a.m, like checking my email, like did they send the deposit now? Just that I wasn't able to sleep much those days. But yeah, there's been
Sleepless
a
nights.
few moments where it's really scary.
Yeah.
But thankfully now it's a lot better. So
Gotta get through it and then
man,
get to the other
there's
side.
There's a lot. There's a lot of things for sure that I don't post because it's not like I can just take out a camera and do it.
Mhm.
But or I'm in in the mood to take a camera and record myself how I'm feeling right now. I'm like, fuck. Yeah. But right now it's more what's stressing me out right now is just coming through for the projects now. Like make sure you
Put your
you
money
me-
where your mouth is.
yeah, the meeting the deadlines. Yeah, because the whole point is to go fast, So that's what the customer wants to see.
Yeah.
Um,
Speed, quality.
yeah, speed, quality, and it's really not that bad. We're building like 5 machines now. So, yeah, and then we got a few more projects, like a few major projects that we got, and yeah, I think we might be hiring people.
Nice.
At least one more. Probably like a mechanical designer.
Okay.
Yeah. Somebody out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that reach out as well, trying to help just do remote work, because we do use people that do like SolidWorks.
Okay.
They have experience like electrical design as well. And it works really well. Like if I need people, like there's a lot of support for sure.
That's
from
good.
the main page, from the network. Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Using that network.
Yeah, I'll probably have to remember a few of those times, but it's been 5 years.
Crazy. Goes fast.
Yeah, 4.5 with the building,
Okay.
with the actual lease to have a business. Yeah, so it's been pretty crazy.
It's a ride.
Yeah. What about you? I mean, you guys, so you and your husband are remodeling your home, right? Or are you remodeling multiple homes? Because I know your husband has like different houses. Is that
Yeah,
are those projects
so
you're taking on?
We have multiple rental properties. We recently finished one before we started our house. So right now our house is the only thing we're working on. He wants to buy and build and all those things, and I was like, let us just finish our house and then we can do all the things. But yeah, we're adding a second story to our personal home. So that's been quite the project. So we have a rental house and we're not living
He's
in
an
a
engineer
house.
too, right?
Yeah, he's a structural engineer.
Structure?
Yeah.
You guys can build a house. You guys are good.
So,
you got
yeah.
your PE too. Can you sign him off?
Yeah, he has his PE too. So
You guys can sign off the
yeah. So we do plans for homes for people.
Is that something you do like on the side? Or?
Yeah. So we have a company called Eldo Home Design, and we do that.
That's great.
So we do the plans for all of our personal projects as well as help other people out with their projects. So yeah.
Hell yeah. Now I know somebody I can contact for that.
Definitely.
That's cool. That's cool that you're doing that. So structural engineer, where does he work?
So, well, we both work for the government, so I don't really talk about it. But we met working at a private company, actually in Irvine. And he was in structural and I was a new engineer in transportation. I didn't know what I wanted to do then, and I got an opportunity to work for this company. So we actually met there. It's kind of funny. It's a joke. We were a small office, but we got together and no one in the office knew. But all our bosses are super cool. They were all at our wedding, so it was
nice.
good in the end.
Okay.
They all laughed about it. But yeah, so we met there, and then we've both moved around since then. So and then we also have our company on the side. So
Does your company know, or do they care?
You're allowed to do side work as long as it's not a conflict of interest to what we do.
Oh, okay.
It's not. So
Yeah. So is that what you're trying to do? Like just help people remodel homes or like expand their homes? Because you need permits for that, right?
Exactly.
You can't just do it. And this is all just in Long Beach area. I mean, if people need services like that, do you have a website?
Anywhere in SoCal. Yeah, eldohomedesign.com.
Eldo Home.
Yeah. So, yeah, we do it pretty much a lot of Southern California, like LA to Orange County, basically.
What kind of projects are like ideal for you guys?
So we do a lot of, right now we're doing a lot of ADUs, accessory dwelling units. So there's a state bill out right now that allows like garage conversions and stuff into like, they used to call them like granny units or like apartment suites. So we do a lot of those where people like in their home can turn their garage or have like a separate little unit to rent out on their property. Do a lot of those.
Is that new?
It's not new, but it's gotten really popular in the last few years. There's been a lot of bills in the state of California because of the cost of living and the housing shortage and all those things.
Yeah, I mean that came up to my mind. Is it because of that?
It's because of that. So there's ADUs, and then there's also something called SB9, which even could allow you to have on a single family property, you can have like 3 units, an ADU and an SB9. There's all kinds of laws. Actually, my husband is like the really crazy one that knows everything. Like if you get him in a conversation over housing codes, you'll be there forever because he knows like every little thing.
I mean, I'm interested now because if you're saying that you could do your garage and you're saying you can have like multiple units, what do you mean? Like, can you build
so you can
stuff in the like your backyard?
Yeah, in your
like
backyard.
Rooms, like actual rooms.
Like actual little units, like with a kitchen, a bathroom, like however you can even do like ADUs can be up to 1,200 square feet. So I mean 1,200 square feet's pretty big. So you could do like
That's
3 bedrooms
massive.
if you really wanted to. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So it's literally having almost a separate house like in your backyard that a lot of people do it to like house hack. Like you buy your house, you build the ADU and the SB9 or whatever. You can have it depends on the zoning. So I don't want to go like too much into it because it depends on what your property is. But yeah, and then you can, be collecting rent from somebody and helping pay your own mortgage and, helping yourself out. So it can be good.
Are you guys doing also? So are you doing like the design, or you do all materials and construction?
No, so we just do design and permitting. So we get you to the permit, like you have the permit in hand, and then contractor you do on your own. We can like give ideas of people we've worked with before, but that's like a separate entity. We don't do anything in construction.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What's it take to get like a permit like that?
To get a permit to build?
Yeah.
So it's basically we take care of everything from like you saying you want to do this project to you getting the permit. So first we have to obviously look at the lot and see what you're even able to do. And then it's just basically producing the set of plans from like site plan to structural to architectural, all those things. And then just working with the city to get the permit. So obviously the building department and the planning department for your plans. But then there's also a bunch of clearances and stuff for like with the Bureau of Engineerings and places like that for like sewer and addresses and all those different things. So just taking care of all of that with whatever city you live in, and then you get that permit and you're on your way.
We definitely have a housing crisis here.
We do.
In California.
We do.
Everything's
Definitely
expensive. Are we not building more houses, or people are just not buying them?
It's a crazy time. I don't
know.
It is. There's a lot of building going on, and then, they say that they're for like low income, or they say they're like, easier to get, but then a lot of these apartment buildings they put up and it's like 300 units and like 12 of them are low income housing, and it's like that got you what you needed for tax breaks and stuff as the developer, but it's not really doing anything at the end of the day. So I don't know. I don't have the answers to it, but it's definitely a problem.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know when I'm buying a house, but so that project is on hold until then. No, but my mom does have a big land. It almost seems like she could put like a house behind her.
Oh yeah,
she has like plenty of room to do like 2-3 units there.
It's good income for sure, and especially if she's owned for a little bit and there's equity in the house, you can always like use the equity to pay to build, and then it all comes back eventually. So
awesome.
It's
That's
good
cool.
investment.
That's really good that you're doing that.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
It's fun.
Yeah.
I actually wanted to be an architect when I was young, because like what every engineer wants to be an architect at some point. And I took a bunch of classes, like even through the local community college because my high school in Long Beach had a program through the community college. So that was really cool, and I thought I wanted to be an architect, and a counselor convinced me out of it, and I went to engineering, but I missed it. I loved architecture and that creativity, so I kind of get a little bit of it now through doing stuff like that with my husband. So.
Yeah. That's cool.
It's fun.
That's pretty cool that you're doing that.
Yeah.
I did not know that. That's awesome. Well, yeah, good luck with that. Is that something you're probably going to stick to or do like more on your own, or are you going to be sticking around with your company too?
For now, for definitely sticking around with my company for now. We'll see. You never know what the future holds for sure, but I like having my toes in a lot of things.
She's going to stick around, okay, company you're working. She's sticking
Always,
around.
1,000%, all the way down.
But yeah, Chloe, thank you for coming today. You're so close. Maybe we should get your husband in here one day. And just talk about, business, or maybe I'll invite you guys to next things that are happening around here.
Yeah, definitely.
And I know that in October you're gonna be with Society of Women Engineers. So I think we're gonna be getting there.
Definitely.
So we'll be hanging out again.
Gotta
pretty
do brunch for sure.
Yeah, we should.
LA brunch.
That should be fun. But yeah, I mean, anybody watching, this is Chloe, the engineer. Give her a follow, and yeah, I guess we'll do another one soon.
Sounds good.
Maybe we'll get a group of people here.
Yeah, that would be a good time. That would be a good time.
Yeah, cool. All right. Well, until the next one, Chloe.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.